Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build 2 model kits and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can apply those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can use the emotes from somebody else's streams or the global emotes, or you can just say hi. Or you could just be chill and not say anything at all, because you got that option as well. Let's see, we got John here saying more that money is required to survive than liking flat currency. Yes. Indeed. Wristfin is here. Jam is here. Lashberg is here. Gulf just says hello. Hello. Dirty's here saying like WrestleQuest and Big Spults wrestling and video games. Yes. WrestleQuest, a game that people have been talking about for Summer Games Fest, that is an RPG about wrestling. And that is wrestling and video games, which are things that we'll probably talk about tonight. I mean, we definitely will. Ghost Val's here. Hi, Ghost Val. We got a great crew already. Welcome, everybody. Happy you're here in the old Build With Baer Workshop. As I said at the top of the stream, we are working on 2 model kits. We're going to finish the entry grade Nu Gundam. You can see here, because all we have left is the legs and the shield and 1 weapon. So it won't take long at all to build that because it's an entry grade. It's the quick thing. It's quicker than a high grade. And we have 1 sticker left to place on the shield. So not a lot of work left to do on the Nu Gundam. And then we're gonna go from entry grade, the easiest thing to build in a by Gundam standard. And then we're going to jump to one of the most difficult kind of kits to build, the real grade. We're going to build the Exia Repair 2 real grade. This was a kit from the year 2017. It was it's a premium Bandai product that was recently reissued by so they put out more. And I put a pre-order in for it because it's a real grade I've never built before. And I like the Exia Repair 2. Now, do I also have an Exia Repair 2 in high grade form that I haven't built that's in my backlog? Yes. I also have that. And does this have the thing of the Exia where you've got like those weird like plastic pieces that are like see-through, bendy, like holographic kind of looking things? Yeah, they got those. I don't love those, but I'll put them in there. I don't care. I'll do whatever. Oh, that's not true. But yeah, so we're going to work on an easy kit, jump to a more difficult kit. Real grades aren't the worst. 2017, they kind of figured out what they wanted to do with real grades, so it's not by any means a difficult thing to put together. But it is certainly more difficult than an entry grade. Even if this entry grade isn't my favorite. I think I'm coming down on this as if someone said, hey, I want to get started with model kit building, I would say that they should buy the RX-782, the Granddaddy Gundam entry grade kit, and not this or the Strike. I think that's where I'm gonna go. I'm falling right now. We'll see. I mean, the kit's not done. I don't know. We got a bunch of people here already, which is lovely for a Saturday. A little unexpected. Happy to have you all here. Welcome, welcome. If you're here because of a raid recently, or you knew that I streamed, but you really weren't like checking it out, or if you just like looking in the makers and crafting tab and you're like, oh shit, I'll hang out there, welcome. RX-782 is a classic indeed, and that entry grade is a fantastic build. It's a wonderful build to put together. We are currently at 45 subscribers. Just want to say there, we're at 45, trying to get to 50, the big 50. When we get to 50, I will stop. I won't increase to like we're 50 out of 55. I'll end at 50 because I would love to be at 50 until we then drop below 50, and then I gotta bug you to do it again. I'm gonna apply to my tweet, see if we get a few more friends to join us tonight, although we do have plenty of friends here. And then we're gonna get into model kit building and talking about some stuff. Let's go to the overhead. Now, the shadows are not good right now. You can see we got some shadows here, because I have moved where my overhead light was. Because in my current setup, it was not actually shining in the build area, which is bad. Right now, it does have a thing where it is, it's not right. It's not exactly where I want it. I need to extend it out a little bit more. Also, I was like, oh, you know what I should do with my overhead light is I should put it like it's a ring light. It's a circle. I should just put it like around my camera so it would shoot down, and then it wouldn't have to worry about anything like that because it would just shoot down the whole space. What that ended up doing was because it's so high up from where the camera is, it was just shining on me and like it was way too bright and like finding the balance there just wasn't going to work because I do have a light over here that points at me. And then I would have to have it. And also it was illuminating all of my monitors in a weird way. And I was like, this is bad. So I was messing around yesterday. I was trying to get something that I thought would be good for the stream. And I did not. So lighting is currently still a work in progress. If you haven't watched the stream in a little while, I did kind of redo my lighting here. And I'm continuing to try to redo that in a way that would benefit everybody, but also because I have redone how I have my camera. Upgraded to a better camera that has a physical zoom button that I can reach, and then I can physically zoom in and out instead of worrying about a webcam that didn't have much digital zoom. So, we're figuring stuff out. We're trying to make it work. We're working on feet right now here of our entry grade. The Nu Gundam Entry Grade. So let's, oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is an entry grade. I shouldn't be using any, this is a toolless build. We, of course, will use our X-Acto blade to apply the last sticker, because it only has 2 stickers. But we should be, theoretically, building this without using any tools for assembly. And we're also panel lining it because I have the markers, and it looks good. So let's use the markers. If we got the markers, we should use the markers. As the saying doesn't go. So I'm just making that up. But yeah, let's get these legs or the feet done here. Okay, we are going to talk about the Wholesome Direct, which I watched today. So we can get into that, some video game conversation here. I figured we would start off with that. I did not watch any other because there is a physical games fest thing happening. I did not. I cannot cover anything that was shown there that wasn't on a thing. That's the saying. If you have the makeup, become the Joker. Yes, Sin. That is the saying. Hi, Sin. But yeah, so I can only really talk about what I watched today, which was the Wholesome Direct. That is what I watched today. And the thing with Wholesome Direct is they chock-a-blocka, cram full as many teasers and small little trailers as possible. And they have some returning things that were hey, we first debuted at Wholesome Games, 2020. And you're like, oh, cool, you're back. And you got a slightly different demo. Neat. Cool. But they really try to pack in as many trailers. So we won't talk about every single game that was in the event. I'm just going to kind of give you the overview of what I took away from it, what stood out to me. And if you watch, you can also let me know if I completely goofed and missed out on the best thing, or if I'm not talking about the best thing. We're going to start with a shout out to Mary Kish. Mary Kish was one of the presenters for the Wholesome Direct. Mary rules. Mary just completely, totally, 100% kicks ass and is an awesome person. And it's just nice to. Mary's just one of those people where you're just like, oh shit, it's Mary. Nice. So shout outs to Mary Kish. The very first game that I want to talk about is Little Bear Chef. That's right. It's a video game where you play a little bear who is a chef. And when I say little bear, I mean you are teeny tiny. And by bear, I mean you are a small plastic bottle of honey shaped like a bear. And you are a chef. And I don't know anything else about the game except that it is cooking and running around in what appears to be a large kitchen, especially comparatively to you, a tiny bear who is, of course, actually a little jar of honey, who is a bear. And if you're like, Pat, I don't know why you would be psyched about that. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I can't change you and fix whatever's broken inside of you, because that's incredible for a premise for a video game. So, as I said, I'm not talking about every game, but I will point this out. The first 4 games that were mentioned, 2 of those 4 video games featured bears as the main character. And I was like, I'm going to like this Wholesome Direct. The second bear that I'll talk about here is Lumberjack. All one word, Lumberjack. That's Lumbearjack. Is about a bear named Jack, and you are fighting industrialization. You are fighting like corporate interests that are trying to take over your forest, and like you're fighting back by like destroying it. So you just run around and beat up machinery and buildings, and fight the man and fight the power. And you're a bear named Jack, and you're dressed like a lumberjack. And also, that video game's out now. It's coming to Xbox like in a couple days. Apparently, they just missed the Xbox launch, but it's out, and I bought it, and I'm gonna play it next Wednesday on stream. Sorry, my randomizer run of Pokemon that I said I was gonna do. If you were really dying to see that again, I'll do it in the future. It's just, this is a fucking video game about you're a bear that breaks shit and you fight the man, and I'm gonna play that on Wednesday next week because that's an incredible idea, and it looked cute, and it was like $12 or $13. It was nothing. I don't know how long it is. I don't know how the game feel is. I just know that I want to put my money where my mouth is and support shit that brings me joy. And that the concept of that video game brought me tremendous amounts of joy. So we're going to fucking check that out in the very near future. Let's see. Mika and the Witch's Mountain is about a witch's apprentice, I should say, trying to learn magic and helping people out on an island. And the art style looked very cute. It's just like running around, helping people out, learning some magic along the way. You know, probably quest-oriented, seemed pretty damn chill. So I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. In what was one of the... So, wholesome doesn't necessarily mean... wholesome doesn't necessarily mean anything, really. It's just a state of mind. It's not a game genre. It's a vibe. But wholesome doesn't have to mean chill. It should, but it doesn't always. Because you could have a wholesome video game like How to Say Goodbye, which is a narrative puzzle game about helping ghosts pass on to the afterlife. And it has the art style felt very like zines. Like, I don't know, just a zine art. I don't know. It's not a thing I can properly describe, but if you see art for How to Say Goodbye, you'd be like, oh yeah. Like the kind of like photocopied zine you find at a small little arts convention thing. That's like, you know, somebody did it on like and printed it on like neon colored paper, and it's just got that vibe to it. But I like the idea of a narrative puzzle game. That sounds cool. The video game I am sure my friend Ian will really love award goes to Love Burb. That's Love Burb, B-I-R-B. It's all one word. And that's a rhythm dating game. You're a bird looking for love. You go on dates with other birds, and the conversation of the date gets moved along by how well you do in rhythm, like, you know, like playing a rhythm game, basically. And yeah, and your success in the rhythm game is your success on the date. And that's just weird in a way that I can fucking get behind. That's weird in a way that I'm like, hell yeah. Love Burb. Sure. Spirit Swap is a queer match 3 game. I've kickstarted this game. I am friends with Alex, who is the head of of Soft Knot Week, the folks that are bringing this game out. So I am friends with them, and so biases may exist. Oh, I was supposed to put this on before I connected these two. Shit. And also I kickstarted it. But there's a demo out. There's been a demo for a long time. We actually looked at the demo on stream when it first came out. But there's a new demo that's looking more of the narrative, because there is some narrative in this puzzle game. But it's made by queer folks for everybody. But especially if you would be interested in a match 3 game that has a little story to it and something going on there. And also very good beats. The beats are very chill. Let's see. Probably the weirdest concept for a game that I saw is Froggen. That's Frogun. Froggen is a platformer. So there are a couple platformers in this, but it's an indie platformer. And you are a young lady, and you have a grappling hook that helps you with platforming. And by grappling hook, I mean you are holding a frog, and the frog's tongue acts as the grappling hook. And apparently, according to the trailer, that frog is your best friend. So you and your best friend are going out on adventures, and it's just so happens that your best friend is a frog and also your mode of transportation. And that's weird in a way that I'm real into. I'm really into how weird of an idea that is. And I also think grappling hooks fucking kick ass in video games. If a video game has a grappling hook, I'm at least interested, if not on board immediately. Let's see. Bubblegum Galaxy is... oops, that didn't work. I figured I should talk about Bubblegum Galaxy because it, in concept, looked pretty damn similar. Culinary asking, what's your favorite grappling hook in a game? I think it is the original, old school Bionic Commando. Because it was like, it wasn't just about using the grappling hook to pull yourself. It was about swinging and using the momentum. But Bionic Commando, if the grappling didn't feel good, that wouldn't be a classic video game. But because the grappling felt really good, I think that is why people have such fond memories of it. Even if the remake was like real, tonally incredibly weird. It's just like, yeah, that was weird, but Bionic Commando, though. So Bubblegum Galaxy is basically, folks that have watched my Wednesday streams have seen me play a lot of the video game Dorfromantik, which is a tile placement game. You're placing like tiles down, and it's basically like somewhere between Carcassonne and Ticket to Ride, but as a single player. This is Dorfromantik, except it is much more lo-fi. It is much more like abstract, and also you are rebuilding the universe. So there is even if they don't really get into it and there's not a story, there's at least a premise. So I really like Dorfromantik. Or Dorfromantik, whichever you want to call it. I really think that's a quality video game, and I love the idea of playing another one of those, especially one that has like a weird space vibe to it. Like there's a lot of games in space. Okay, so technically every video game is in space, but you know what I mean. Every video game involves space, but this particular video game that I'm talking about here, I'm more talking about it in the fact that it's like, oh yeah, okay. It's like a in outer space theme. It's pretty cool. Kaichu So, if you've ever played or watched the video game Rampage, and if you ever saw that video game and you were like, I really like this video game, my only note is, I think that the game itself would be way better if, thank you, Lashbrook, if the kaiju, the big monsters in Rampage, kissed. What if the Rampage monsters kissed? Because that apparently is the premise of Kaichu, K-I-C, or sorry, K-A-I-C-H-U, K-A-I-C-H-U. Kaichu is Rampage if the kaiju kissed, and I don't know what else is going on there. I don't know what the gameplay is. I don't know if doing well destroying the building means that you will kiss faster or better. I don't know. All I know is that it's kaiju monsters and kissing, and that sounds great. So I will keep an eye out and a heads up, because I would like to, at some point in the near future, play that video game. Because it sounds real goof. Yeah, maybe, Jatsu. Maybe it is it's an odd... maybe it does feel like an odd idea, like a thrown together weird search results. Yeah, let Godzilla smooch, indeed. And this video game, apparently does let that happen. So that's real good. All right, so we need C28 and 29. That's these two here. One thing I have not fixed, folks, is unfortunately, sometimes the table here will shake, and I cannot fix that. I have tried to weigh down this table so it won't shake as much, but I just think I'm already just put so much weight on it that the legs are unhappy. But we unfortunately do get some shake. It's not camera shake, at least. It's the table shaking. It's just the camera is looking at the table. So I am attempting to correct that, and I will do my best. We are OFK. You need like cross members. Yeah, Lashbrook. I definitely like. I don't know if more leg braces would help. Honestly, what I really need is. I just need to get a table that's half the size of what it is, because from right off, okay, here's my arm here. There's not much. There's like that much more going this way. And then where the table, because it's a folding table. It's a good folding table, but I really don't need it as long as it is. I use storage on the other side, but all I really need is a square table, and so that my monitors can sit on it and all that, and then a table next to it that I can put my little shelving thing where all my sprues go, because there's a lot of wasted space on this table. It's not ideal, but I don't have a better solution than this. Unfortunately, this is the only card table we've got here. So. But yeah, I used to have a square table that I would build on. And that was really nice because I ended up having space behind it because I didn't need my monitors all the way on the edge of the table. So that actually worked out great. Again, don't have that here. So can't do that. But maybe someday I'll have a good table that does just what I needed to do and not more than I needed to do. All right, we're gonna put a kid here. We are OFK. Has a demo out if you want to check that out. Oh, a demo is coming on Monday. I'm sorry, because there's a Steam thing on Monday, and there'll be a demo for OFK, the band, which is, if you haven't looked at that, is like a music game. That's also like a narrative game, and that is semi-autobiographical, but kind of maybe idealized autobiographical. Basically, a bunch of folks got together because they were like, let's make a video game. And also, in the process of getting a game studio together, they also formed a band. And then they were like, oh, I guess our game should be about how we formed a band. Yeah. And I was like, sure. Okay. Sounds like a plan. I mean, go for it. Honestly. So yeah, that's I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to check out a demo of that on Monday. I don't know how long that demo will be up. And the last one I want to talk about. So I didn't talk about most of these. There were a ton of Harvest Moon likes or Stardew Valley likes, whatever you want to call it. Like there were a lot of farming games with a cute art style that seemed fun. There were a lot of farming games with a cute art style. And the one that stood out to me the most was Critter Crops. Because it's Halloween themed. You've got like haunted-ish, like not only are a lot of the things that you are making haunted, but also you're like, you went to an abandoned island and you're like building it back up and you're drawing attention from people who are also like misfits like you because once your powers were discovered, you were banished from wherever you're from, which led you to find this island, and now you're just like farming. I don't know. It seemed like an interesting concept, but the art style looked really cool, and I like the also I just like the name. It's a very fucking good video game name. Critter Crops. This is a good name. So yeah, I don't know a lot about Critter Crops, but I do know that I am interested in learning more about Critter Crops. It's just a good name. And that's everything from the Wholesome games that Wholesome Direct, I should say, that I wanted to talk about tonight. If you watched it, let me know. If you've been following along, if you've been watching people's like TikToks and Twitter videos and stuff. And I did not have time today to play Rumbleverse. Someday I will play. I will play one of these like tests, network tests of Rumbleverse, but that was not today. It was not meant to be. But yeah, like I said, someday I will. Someday I will check that out. But yeah, if anything's been standing out to you, I didn't. Like I said, I have watched a few things, but I watched Day of the Devs. I watched the Summer Games thing, the proper. And then I watched the Wholesome Direct. So I haven't seen everything. I'm sure there have been other things like around it that I just have missed. But if there's anything that stood out to you, feel free to let me know here in the chat. If there's anything like, WrestleQuest was mentioned before, and that's the thing I definitely will check out. But yeah, tomorrow I will be checking out 2 more of these so I can talk about it on Monday. I'll also be I'll be watching via Jeff Gersman's Twitch so that I can mod. I was unable to mod for him today, so I will mod tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the Xbox Bethesda and the PC Gaming Show. So I will be checking out both those things So I'll be checking both. I gotta get some stuff done because there's not early in the day, but early-ish. One of them, the Xbox thing is still early for me. So I'll definitely be checking both those out and give you my thoughts on Monday for those. But yeah, I guess there's a lot of wrestle talk that I need to have here. Not like a lot, but like some wrestle talk needs to be kind of said. So we'll get into some wrestle talk. We'll talk a little wrestling here. These are just like, I just wrote down a bunch of thoughts of things I wanted to talk about here. It is weird that Roman Reigns versus Riddle will be on SmackDown. Now, do I think this match is actually going to happen? Not 100%. There could still be them pulling out, but they are advertising this match to happen. And if they're advertising it, they should do it. But I don't know if they will do it. But it is weird that that's happening on a SmackDown and not at a pay-per-view, because you think that would be a pay-per-view or live event rather than a match on a Friday. So that's weird. I thought that was weird. Gunther is Intercontinental Champion, and I think that's great. It's his first main roster title. And I think Gunther I mean, Walter is like a phenomenal wrestler, and I think he's going to do real good stuff with that Intercontinental title. Sorry to, and also now Ricochet can chase and try to win it back, I guess. But sorry in general to Ricochet. Let's see other things about wrestling that I wanted to put in here in the chat. We'll stay on WWE. John Cena is coming back to hang out because his 20th anniversary of his first time on WWE television is coming up. So he's going to come back. And then there are rumors that he will be participating in SummerSlam, which makes sense to have John Cena come back for a big money match against somebody. The rumor mill is that it will be up against Theory, who they're really trying to put over. But I don't know. I don't have any conjecture on who Cena will be facing. But I'm like, yeah, all right, Cena, that's fine. Paige, formerly known as Paige, the retired wrestler Paige, who has been working in a backstage and then occasionally managerial role for WWE for a number of years since she was injured, is leaving the company or has come to terms with, is not being laid off, but in July will end her working for WWE. She's been retired from the ring since 2017. Now, she did say maybe she'll she basically was just like, yeah, maybe I'll be back in the ring at some point, but who knows? Officially they will not be renewing her contract. Yeah, so they're coming to terms on the contract and ending it. But it is a thing that, like, they both know now. Because sometimes those contracts are like, are there going to be negotiations? Are they going to be pushed out? But sometimes they're just like, yeah, it's just, we're not going to keep doing it. And so, yeah, so Paige is ending, and she has certainly said there's a possibility that she might wrestle again, which, other wrestlers have also done this, but I say the same thing, which is just like, I know it's hard for you to not be a wrestler, but also fucking yikes, please be careful. I said that about her because now we got like Daniel Bryan out for undisclosed injuries and just like, it just happens. It just happens a lot. Edge had a brief time where he was on the shelf again after he came back. It wasn't that long, but it still was some time. Speaking of Edge, I love the report that the reason why Edge has been kicked out of his own stable, which is the Judgment Day, there's a the in it for some reason. He's out of the Judgment Day. Finn Balor joined, and then they kicked him. They kicked Edge out. Supposedly, and of course, this is again speculation and rumor and whatever. Sources have said the reason why he wanted out of it was not being on the road more than he would like, or having second thoughts about being on an faction or getting hurt or anything like that. They want to move the Judgment Day into like spooky territory, like spooky bollocks, and he was more interested in being like culty and less like he was like no goth, like we dress goth, not goth like we're supernatural people. So apparently this was the compromise, which was just like he won't be in the group anymore. To which I say, like, I don't know, Edge. Spooky stuff. WWE loves spooky stuff. It's how you know you're going to be on TV. If you're involved in an angle that involves spooky nonsense, then you'll, like, always be around, because right now they got a huge hard-on for spooky nonsense. They love it there. But of all the people to join, Finn Balor felt really weird. If you have a lantern or blood fountain, then you will get prime time. Indeed. Or a creepy doll that makes you creepy for some reason. Some unexplained reason. Like, that works. They love that shit so much. Alexa Bliss isn't even, like, supernatural anymore, but she still has that weird doll. Uh, let's see. I kind of mentioned this on Thursday. I fucking cannot goddamn believe that AEW is introducing another fucking title belt. I can't believe they're introducing another goddamn title belt. They have so many goddamn belts. They're introducing another one. They have so many of their own belts, and they also feature like some of, not all of, some of the Ring of Honor belts. And it's just like, and then sometimes people who have belts for other companies besides that will have those belts and like hang out with those belts. And it's just like there are so many goddamn belts. And they were like, yeah, you know what we need? We need our version of the Intercontinental title. So we're going to have our all Atlantic title. I think New Japan Pro Wrestling still has more. Lastbrook, I'm not going to argue about that. I'm just saying they have too many. Because they also can't put all of their champions on television that have those belts. Or they choose not to. Because where the fuck is Thunder Rosa? Thunder Rosa is literally sitting and catering. She is the champion. She had one of the best matches at their last pay-per-view on the card. And he's an incredible wrestler that the fans really like and can get behind. And, okay, like they literally cut an angle. They had a promo on Friday that was basically Britt Baker being like, Tony Storm, you think you can go after the title that I want back? No, get to the end of the line. And it's like, oh, who has that title? You're not going to say Thunder Rosa? You're not going to cut a promo on Thunder Rosa? You're going to cut a promo on somebody else. Ugh, fucking pisses me off. I mean, it's a larger issue with AEW and the lack of direction for their women's division, but it also goes to just like, come on. Why do we have this new title? Why do you have another new title? So many titles. Just feels silly. On positive thoughts about AEW, because I should have some positives. I thought Ethan Page's promo was good. They still don't know what the fuck to do. Because, like, who's the face between Ethan Page and Miro? Because, like, Miro is a monster who's supposed to crush people. But is he a monster face or a monster heel? Because, you know, theoretically, a large portion of the AEW audience, like, is, like, when you think of, like, wrestling, you think of, like, an audience that likes, like, a God-fearing audience? Yeah, but Miro wants to face God. But I don't think the AEW audience would be like, yeah, fight God. And then Ethan Page is just like, I don't pray to anyone except me. I pray to myself, which is a weird thing to say. It was just weird. But Ethan Page is ostensibly a heel. I mean, his manager's a heel. But he and Scorpio Sky have worked babyface a lot lately. So I literally don't know. Because sometimes he just, this should not go on yet. I put this on too early. Sometimes he does not behave like a heel at all. And it's very weird. Eddie Kingston, though, I mean, that's just like, that's the tweet, Eddie Kingston. Like, that's the message for me to share with you tonight is, holy fucking shit, Eddie Kingston. Just unbelievable. Just the most believable man in wrestling. The promo he cut on Wednesday to set up the match he had with Jake Hager, which was just, I want to fight you. I want to fight you. I want to fight you. He just said that like he was just like, I want to fight. And you know what? I believed him. I believed that he wanted to fight Jake Hager. Jake Hager, not Jack Hager. Jake Hager. I 100% fully and totally believed that he wanted to fight that man, and then he did. It was also very good. God damn. Eddie just sells so well and just has so much heart. You just want good things for this fucking nightmare of a man. I I don't believe anyone has ever wanted to fight Jake Hager. I mean, I believe Eddie Kingston wanted to get in the ring and hurt him. I believe that. I fully 100% believed it. Oh, this is the man that wants to fight him. Was he treating fighting Hager like summoning Bloody Mary? No, Dirty. I mean, kind of, but no. Really, what it was like he was going down this route of, I said what I wanted to say. I don't need to keep talking. I don't have to make up a bunch of stuff. He's like, hey, you eliminated me from this match, which was my opportunity to maybe win the interim championship. I hate your boss, and I hate you, and I want to fight you. And he was just like, that's just it. It's like, there's not, it was very believable. He didn't have to, like, wax poetically or tell a story or anything, like tell a tale. He was just like, hey, I hate you, and I really want to fight you, and we're going to fucking make that happen. Because Eddie Kingston also has this vibe of like, because he certainly has done this in the past, of, hey, I want to fight this guy, and if I don't get to fight this guy, I'm going to make this really annoying for everybody. Like, we're going to make this a rough working environment unless I get my way. And I appreciate that. Trent Beretta gets the pin on New Japan people. That is so bizarre. Where are the best friends? Yes, Jam. Even if Eddie hadn't beaten Moxley. First off, Eddie beating Moxley would have been fucking incredible. But Eddie wrestling Moxley for an opportunity at the belt is also fucking incredible and could have been so cool. But we didn't get that, and I'm like, I wasn't thrilled that we didn't get that shit because I thought that would have been great. But yeah, Eddie, like, not, but then, like, being happy for Mox, because it's like, well, I didn't win, but you won, that kind of thing. I don't know. It would have been neat. But yeah, where is Chuck Taylor? Where is Orange Cassidy? Why is Trent hanging out with FTR? That just feels odd. I really, really, like, I don't fully believe that they would let Orange Cassidy go, but I do believe that they would let Chuck Taylor go, because it really does feel like a bunch of people from the first years. I don't think so. I don't think Chuck Taylor is hurt. He had some indie dates that he's made pretty recently, but he might not have been wrestling at them. I know Cassidy's not hurt. I think because, like, basically a lot of the Dark Order is gonna be gone. It feels like we already saw one, and we're gonna see more releases. Not negative one, certainly. I don't think they would ever, like, completely get rid of everyone in there, but it feels like that they are gonna slowly just, like, kind of get rid of it as, like, it's not a Dynamite group anymore. It is a, Rampage at best, Dark Elevation kind of group these days. I mean, I feel like they're going to keep John Silver around, but I could see other members of that group fading out. Including Colt Cabana, who, like, fucking, I wish Colt had signed in 2000, like, I wish Colt had signed, like, immediately, because everyone knew the writing on the wall was on the wall for Colt Cabana, because, like, one, the story of him, like, being brainwashed into joining Dark Order couldn't go anywhere because the Dark Order turned face when they became, like, they really played into the fact that they were goofy. So storyline-wise, they were, like, corrupting Colt Cabana, and it was, like, a thing, and that was, like, the story. And then it was like, no, they're the good guys, so it's okay that Colt's there. It's a good thing that Colt's there. And then also, his fucking not friendship anymore with CM Punk puts a limit on what he can do in there. I had thought maybe Colt would end up in the Ring of Honor product. And he might still actually end up in the Ring of Honor product, which will be a good spot for him because he could be a big dog there. But I don't know. I don't fucking know. One thing about Rampage I thought was very funny was they had advertised we'll hear from Hookhausen, Hook and Danhausen, and what they heard from was them in different levels of cool golf carts, riding separately golf carts, and obviously Hook didn't say anything, but Danhausen just said like, oh yeah, I got this new ride. Oh, you want to see his ride? Oh, okay, and then he drove off, and that was it. I was like, well, we technically did hear from Danhausen, but I thought that was silly in a good way. All right, our kit is body complete here. We just got to do some weapons and the shield here, but we are almost body complete on this particular kit. This, like I said, I knew we would definitely finish this tonight, and we would need to know what the next thing was, which is the Exia Repair 2 real grade, because this was always going to be an easy build to do because it's an entry grade, and they're pretty self-standard. Some of the entry grades that are not Gundams, the entry grades that are like are good, but they involve a lot more stickers. Like I still think that the Deku from My Hero Academia is like a really fun, cool little and very inexpensive model kit, but it did involve too many stickers in my opinion. Let's see. Do I have any other wrestle thoughts here? Not really. Oh, LA Knight was supposed to be on SmackDown. They advertised LA Knight that was going to be on SmackDown. Max Dupree, and he wasn't on there. They at least acknowledged it that he'd be there next week. I don't know what happened there. That's weird. I just want them to get into this storyline because I would like him to be like. First off, LA Knight being a manager is a waste of LA Knight as a wrestler. Because he still has definitely more to give as a wrestler, and it is a shame that he won't be. Hopefully he'll get involved in some matches here and there, but also like just do it. Do whatever you're going to do with this character. Do whatever you're going to do with whoever he's working with, which will be Mansoor and Mace, I believe, because it's Maximum Male Models. And so everybody's going to have an M in the name, apparently. It's a go nowhere thing. A like guy who got hired and is like a modeling agency, like to be a manager is just like, that's a go nowhere gimmick, but whatever. It is a gimmick, so good luck to him. I don't know. I hope that's the last time we see Rhonda and Natalya, like until Money in the Bank, because holy shit, neither of them are great on the mic, and this is one of those things we were like, they're not going to build up Natalya to feel like a threat. Like they can kind of go down the round of, well, to get ready for WWE, Rhonda trained with Natalya, but that can only go so far because she's an MMA person and strong as hell. Now, all of this with the understanding and the caveats that Rhonda sucks and is a fucking turf and can get the fuck out of here, but she's also a wrestler on the roster and will be at Money in the Bank, so I am commenting on that, but just understand that it's not that I'm like, ooh, yay, Rhonda's here, because I'm not like that. Because no thanks. Lacey Evans' gimmick is real weird, because she's got like camo pants on, but then also like, what's going on with her like one-piece suit? Her presentation is so weird, and it's got this thing where we're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry her life was rough. But, like, why did you repackage her like this? What's happening? Why is her finishing move still have the same name as when she was a heel? The women's right. That's just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing with Lacey Evans? Why am I cheering? Why do you want me to cheer Lacey Evans? What is this? I don't know. So much of that feels so strange. We're going to take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel. In the second hour, we will talk about 2 anime series that I have been watching. Not 3, because Spy Family I will be talking about on Monday because I was busy today, didn't have time to watch it, and then also because one of my normal Monday shows that I watch and talk about, or shows I watch on Monday, is Shikimori's Not a Cutie. Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie. And that is not a regular episode. It is another, like, special that they also subtitled. It's like the voice actors of the 2 main characters talking about moments, like important moments of the series. And I'm like, I'm probably not going to watch that, and I'm certainly not going to cover it. When I watched the, like, audio commentary for the first episode, I thought that was kind of unique and interesting to have that from the voice actor's perspective. But this one's just more like promotional material that I'm like, I don't need to see that. Can't believe they took another week off of that show. You know, if they needed to get it done, okay, but it was surprising. So I won't be talking about that on Monday, so I'll talk about Spy Family and Trapped in a Dating Sim. The world is tough for mobs. Got to put one more. We got one sticker on here, and then we're done with this kit. So we're gonna get the sticker on. Get our X-Acto blade here. We'll take this off like this and do like that. There we go. That'll be good. So we are gonna put this here. Dirty wants me to drink some water and hydrate, and I will once I apply this sticker. Thank you, Dirty, for using your channel points for that. This is like, it would have been nice if they did like a little bit of a guide for this sticker, but, you know, as long as I get it on there, I think it'll be fine. So there's only 2 stickers on here, so I don't know. I think that looks good. We'll drink a little water. But yeah, in the second hour, I'll talk about the anime I've been watching, and I'll talk about a few other things that, you know, games I've been playing, my D&D campaign that I got into yesterday and all that. Talk about a few things. And then, of course, we'll chat with all y'all about what you're into, what you got going on, because I like hearing that. All right. So that goes like that. Well, we could do... Yeah. Arm's still a little wobbly here in the shoulders. Overall, this kit is good. It's not great. It's not my favorite. As I said, I think I prefer the RX-782 entry grade over the Nu Gundam Entry Grade. But it's still a pleasure to build, and it still looks really good. And, like, I don't know. I could see someone seeing this and being like, oh, that's a cool high grade. And be like, no, it's an entry grade. So, yeah, I could see that. But I do think the RX-782 is the superior entry grade of the 2. We'll take a photo of this, and then I will we'll take a pause to the cause, and then we'll come back and work on a new kit. But let me get this in frame here. Gun in frame. And there we go. Oops. My hand was in the photo. I don't need that. But yeah, there's an entry grade done. We'll go and get the repair ready here. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? There it is. There, and delete that. There we go, because that's the next thing we're going to build. And of course, we got to figure out our colors in a moment. Yeah, work on that. We'll do here. I guess we'll just keep what we said there. Those colors apply. C and D. C and D. And D. Yeah, and we're gonna have to put these little things on here. These are like little holographic friends have to go on here, which look really cool on the kit, but sometimes are a pain in the ass to put on. So that'll be fun. And of course, we've got our single sheet here of stickers and slides. We got these really good. I love these green stickers. They always look good on a kit. And then of course we got 2 sets of eyes, which I also really appreciate on a real grade. And the thing that really makes it real grade are these like weird internal skeleton pieces that like you have to bend in all sorts of weird, strange ways. And then they do work. It's just always a little odd. Because the 2017 kit here. The Gundam Exia Repair 2. Real grade. But yeah, you get like a whole frame here, which is neat. And sometimes there's undergating on these kits. I believe there's a real grade's gonna have some undergating, and that's okay. Oh yeah, it says parts that have undergating on them. Some parts we won't use because it's a repair too. So there's some parts here that we won't need. Because some of these parts are from 2014. Yeah, some of this is from a 2014 real grade that then got updated. And we start with the legs. Hey, Lord Crashington. So undergating, Aristophan, is this like the overhang? It's the little nubbins. It's extra nubbins. When we get to it, I'll show you. We'll see if there's any on here. Like right up there. It's that stuff that like there's always going to be a little like point at, and it's like, oh, you got to clip this, you got to cut this part. It's the extra pieces. The technical term is undergating. We'll see if I can find any of it on here. But yeah, hi Lord Crashton, happy to have you here. When we get to it, actually now I have the camera, I can zoom in way farther than I used to be able to. I'll zoom in on our first piece of undergating when we get to that. But yeah, it's just like this extra stuff that you have to clip off. Is that undergating there? I can't remember. When we find it, I'll point it out. It's that thing of like when you stuff. Yeah, it's stuff you have to trim. Like it's that stuff where when you connect some pieces, you're like, hey, why didn't this connect flush? Why aren't these two pieces flush? Oh, because there was undergating, and they were like, oh, you've got to clip this undergating out. And sometimes they'll tell you where the undergating pieces have to go. But real grades have a lot of them. It's just extra work. And sometimes if you don't notice it, you're like, oh, shit. Shit, now I got to get rid of all these pieces. All right, so wait, G1 has undergating. Great. D goes here, so G1 is this. G. So yeah, well, that's not, oh, G14. Yeah, okay, so when I clip the G14 out, it'll have like little extra pieces. That doesn't really actually look like it does though, so. Anyway, there will be a part where I will have extra material to clip off myself, and I will let you know when we get there about said materials. But yeah, they're just like little overhang parts that are pretty fucking frustrating if you didn't pay attention ahead of time to know you had to clip that off. Because then you have to like separate the part or maybe clip it off on its own. I don't know. It can be frustrating. Lord Crashton says, I watched the Nextlander takeover of the Summer Game Fest stream as the first bit of XL I've seen in a while, and Brad's hair is whitened out a lot. looks a bit like a younger version of Kevin Nash with his long white hair and facial hair. So yeah, I mean, his hair has definitely whitened a little bit over time. Also, because he is like on a work vacation, in that he is working while he is not in San Francisco. I believe he is probably outside more, and that will also do things to your hair, especially if you've been an indoor boy or indoor person, I should say, for a long period of time. That'll definitely affect that. Yeah, heat's really good, Lashbrook. You're not wrong. Anyway, pause for the cause. If you are new to the stream, this is what's happening right now. I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support what I do here. All of the things I'm going to talk about here for the next, 5 minutes are fucking optional. You don't have to do any of these things. But if you wanted to do them, you could, and I think that would be neat if you did. So, first things first, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe. If you're tier 2, you've got the blue emote. You can put those emotes in the chat. Subscribing is the easiest way to support me here. Financially anyway, I should say, because you are, a member. You can use Cash Money and subscribe that way, or Prime Gaming Token. If you have Amazon Prime link with your Twitch, you can do it that way. You could gift a sub. We've had a bunch of gift subs this month, which is fantastic. Dark Web Prosciutto and Francium, both gifted subs. We are currently at 45 subscribers. Our goal is to hit 50 subscribers. So if you would like to join that, you want to be part of the crew there, you could gift a sub to somebody in the community anonymously or have credit and join. Gifting one sub puts you at the gift sub leaderboard, which is pretty neat. You also could become, bits and coins. You could just donate bits and coins. If we had from Lord Crashington and Harold some bits, and that's nice. That's another way to support what I do here through the usual process of Twitch. But I have alternatives to that, like my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. You get different rewards for the different tiers. So consider becoming a subscriber on Patreon. Check it out. Take a look. Take a look at the website. See if there's anything there that appeals to you. The rewards, a lot of them are voting based, because that's a thing that you can do on there. I can put polls up, because I used to be able to send an email to everyone that was a subscriber on Twitch, but they got rid of that like a year ago, more than a year ago probably. So this is kind of like the best way for me to reach people that like what I do is through Patreon polls. So I'm happy to do that. I also have a YouTube channel. Now, of course, subscribing to my YouTube is free, and you should do it. You should jump on there and get into it, because it would be good. YouTube.com/PatBear. Because I post videos every other Monday and every Wednesday, and then occasionally other videos, but that's the consistency. Every Wednesday, there's going to be a new video there. So take a look at it. See if there's something there that appeals to you. Also, there's memberships. If like Patreon, no thanks. Twitch, giving Twitch money, no thanks. YouTube, sure. All right, you can join that if you want to there. $2 a month, and you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. And my Wednesday videos are great. This most recent one I'll talk about in a little bit is good. My next one coming up, I also think is pretty fun. Let's see. So I got that. And then also direct donations, because every once in a while you're like, Pat, I would throw you a bone or two, let you buy something, help you continue to do this, but I can't do monthly. Well, a direct donation through either Coffee or PayPal would be appreciated. I should add my Stream Elements list to that. I'll do that at some point, because you can also do it through Stream Elements, and there's an overlay thing too. But anything I get through direct donations through YouTube, which also includes AdSense, so watching my YouTube videos also helps with this, through Patreon and through Twitch, all of that goes into a fund which I take money out of to buy model kits and equipment. This kit that I'm going to start tonight, the Exia Repair 2, real great. This is a premium Bandai kit that I purchased because I have the money there waiting for me to buy kits. So I wouldn't be building this without your generous support, and I appreciate it very much. Now, somebody actually, I'm getting a kit soon that will be the next thing I build, because that's how it is. That's how it works. If you don't want me to build from the backlog that I have, because I have kits in my backlog. I'm always happy to work on those. But if you're like, no, do something else. Well, you could buy something from Amazon on my Amazon wish list, and I'll build it next. It'll be the next thing I build. And in fact, the thing I'm going to work on after this is because somebody bought something from USA Gundam Store, which I'll link to in just a second. But yeah, you buy something on the list. It comes to me in the mail. I shoot a dedicated video about said thing, and then I build it. I've got Lego sets here, some small Lego sets, some big Lego sets, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits. Ooh, the 3-in-1 Super Bike is on sale. That's fun. Some Pokemon stuff, and then some more expensive high grades and master grades. And ooh, that's dropped in price a bit. Let's see. That's a 6. Yeah, I'll move that. That's good. The Raphael is almost a reasonable price right now. But yeah, you can buy something from there. There's some gear at the bottom. All of it will be good. And I will take what you've purchased, and that will jump the queue, and it becomes the next thing that I build. Because that's the very least I could do, is to build it in a timely manner. Alternatively, you could buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store, which someone did. Someone that has asked to remain anonymous bought a gift card from USA Gundam Store and then sent me a DM on Twitter with the gift card code and was like, hey, I saw that the Hello Kitty Char-Zaku 2 was on sale on USA Gundam Store. Here's enough money to cover it and shipping. You should get that. And I was like, perfect. That's fucking great. I didn't notice that was on sale. It is a good price, and now I bought that. And that's the next thing I'm going to build is I've already built the Hello Kitty RX-782. Now I'm going to do the Hello Kitty Char-Zaku 2. And that'll be very fun. And that's the next thing I'll build after the Exia. Which rules. That is the thing I get to build. And then also, as an alternative to Amazon and USA Gundam Store wish list is Throne. There's some different stuff on Throne. I really like that company. They are taking the information, like any kind of like data on the people that do it there. They take their privacy very seriously, is what I'm trying to say. They go out of their way to make sure that people are protected and secured, and you don't know where they are. Lashbrook says the Char version of that kit is the only one I haven't built, waiting for them to make it clear. Yes, because they've done the clears, but they haven't done the clear of the Zaku too. I could see that being very cute. But yeah, anyway, check out the Thor wish list. It's different, but also like you aren't going to find like the city or state I live in. And if I was a streamer that, was under the guise of a VTuber, or if I worked under an alias, you wouldn't know my real name. Obviously, you know my real name because I put it out there. But Throne does a good job of keeping all that information secure, and I appreciate that from them. Because people got to look out there. If you want to support me for free, I got a Discord. Jump in the old Discord. Yes, they've done the other Zaku, but not the real one. Yes, I know that, Lashbrook. Jump in my Discord. It's obviously free. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. I got a couple links for you to check out, and then we'll get back into it. Pat Bear's Anime Club, ongoing video series where I, speak on a topic that's interesting to me in the world of anime. And this video that I recently did is about Bleach, because the anime Bleach is coming back. They're going to finally animate the 1,000-Year War arc, which is the final arc in Bleach. That's finally going to get an anime adaptation that's coming this year. So I kind of gave it like a preview of what's to expect and my thoughts on that arc, and also kind of just like a brief overview. Turns out I remember a lot about Bleach, and I think it's the only one of the big three that I haven't talked about on Pepper's Anime Club. So yes, good time for anime and manga ending hiatuses indeed. And then Do You Remembaer is an ongoing video series where every week I take a look at something from the world of Do You Remember? I take a look at something, an article. I do my best to remember whatever I read in the article and then talk to you about it. And I think that's a fun premise. I hope you enjoy it. This one got a little bit of attention. I did a Do You Remember about the band Freeze Pop. And I struggled to remember all of the names of all of the members because they all go by aliases. And I was like, is it Sean T. Drinkwater? I'm like trying to remember all of them. They all have very good aliases. But it was kind of like the history of the band and just any fact I could remember about it. And then the band liked the tweet about it, which I thought was nice. Nice of them. So take a look at that. I think those are fun. We're going to get some anime talk, and I'll also talk about some video games and some other things. And we'll chat about what we're playing and all that. And I will read what Sin just wrote about a video game from Day of the Devs. I will read that in a moment. But first, I have to dramatically transition into our next thing by drinking some water. And then we'll get back to building and start this new kit right now. Dramatic transition. Sin says, I forgot, after Day of the Dev stream, I found out that the game Birth, its creator had a game on Steam called Landlord of the Woods. It's $1 and 45 minutes of gothy puzzles. Okay. I mean, $1 for 45 minutes is a pretty good, yeah. Gothy puzzles for $1? Okay. Cool. Thank you for sharing. All right. We got to take out we got to build the frame here. We're starting with the right leg, which is, it's such a weird place to start with a model kit, is the right leg. Forget like any other, like the chest or the head or even the arms. It's like, no, we build the leg first around here. It's very weird, but we'll do that. And then we'll also talk about some anime while I start working on this leg here, the inner frame of the leg. 2 shows to talk about. Excuse me. We will be. Also got to get my snippers back out because we got to get back into the snipper game here. So we're going to talk about Kaguya-sama Love is War Ultra Romantic, which is, of course, the 3rd season of Kaguya-sama Love is War. And then we will be talking about Aharen-san, Hakarenai, which is in its 1st season because it's a new series. Don't think that there's any, this is still the 1st season. Okay, so Kaguya-sama Love is War. So I knew that we weren't going to get Kaguya or Shirogane confessing. That is what this whole series was building up to, and especially this season. But I knew we weren't going to get that because today's episode was just episode 10. So we ain't getting a love confession in episode 10 of 12. Not going to happen. Gotta wait for it. So what do we end up happening? Well, we're at the cultural festival, and a thing that's important to notice about the cultural festival is, yes, we do have Kaguya is thinking, I'd like to get him to confess, make him confess, or I will confess. Shirogane is also thinking the same thing. There is a tradition that most of the students know about, which is that if you basically handing something with a heart on it, being like a charm or a necklace or whatever, even a balloon, if you hand over something with a heart on it, that's basically saying, hey, I like you. It's basically a confession. So the theory being, do that, then everybody knows. Most people know. Those are the big things to know going into this. The school treasurer, has a crush on a girl named Tsubame. And that's the other thing that's happening right here. So there's like people supporting each other. There's some confessions that are probably going to happen. Yada, yada, yada. So anyway, we have our boy Ishigami is bringing his friend that he managed to, that he has a crush on. He managed to be like, hey, our class is doing this haunted house, and I know you like horror stuff. Do you want to go? She's we're on break. She's like, hell yeah, let's go. So they're heading there. Meanwhile, the lovey-dovey couple that's very annoying and Kaguya And then Kaguya's like cousin, who is also really annoying and is really tsundere. They're in there. And it turns out that half of this thing is a haunted house. And then the other half, they get you into a locker with headphones and a blindfold. And then it's like 3D audio of like to scare you because they weren't going to finish the haunted house in time. And so that is the solution they came up with. And Kaguya fucking hates it. Her cousin fucking hates it. They're really scared. And then we flash back to how like it came to be and who had to help with it. And none of that stuff's important, really. But you know who didn't hate it was our lovey-dovey couple, because in the locker together, they start fucking making out and heavy makeout session, and they get caught. So by the time Ishigami and his friend arrive, they can't go on the ride, or they can't go through the haunted house together, because now, nope, that's not for couples. You got to separate the boys and the girls here, which is heteronormative. Because who knows? You know? Who knows? But whatever. We'll ignore the heteronormative nature of that separation. So they don't get to go in together, but they still had a good time. Meanwhile, Chika, who has barely been in the last few episodes, she's barely done anything good this season, but she really hasn't been in the last episodes. Her little sister is around, so they are in the student council room checking that out, because Moha is on the student council in middle school. She is in the same class and is friends with Shirogane's little sister. And for the first time, Moa met Shirogane and was like, oh, he seems cool and responsible, and I've heard a lot of good things about him, and he clearly works really hard. I have a crush on him. And of course, Chika's like, no, you don't get it. He's like a nightmare, because he does try hard and he eventually gets it, but he's so bad at things when he starts, like, you don't understand. And then of course Shirogane's there, and then Chika has this thing of like having him try a bunch of things so that he will fail, but it turns out all the things that she's picked, like juggling and a few other things, he's surprisingly actually very good at, to her shock and her anger. She's like, why have I been going through all this when you're good at all these things? Hey, Coleman just followed. Thank you very much, Coleman. And Harold's here throwing the emotes in the chat. Thank you, Harold. Welcome, Coleman. Happy to have you here. I'm going to try to build this without my arms resting on the table, because I'm getting so there. Good morning. We're talking about some anime that I have been watching. It was good. You know, like I said, I would like more Chika because she's a great character and a force of nature, and so I would like to see more of her on the thing. Anyway, okay, so Tsubame and Ishigami go to check out her class for the cultural festival, and they're doing like a bunch of like carnival games and stuff, and he wins a prize, and he picks this huge, cartoonishly huge cookie because she had mentioned it. And he was like, oh, you know, she walked around with me and she's been really supportive. You know, I am going to ask her out, but I should just also give her a gift. So in front of like all her classmates and a bunch of people, he's just like, hey, would you accept this big cookie that's shaped like a heart? And of course, he apparently does not understand the whole what heart means in relation to all of this. And everybody else knows what that fucking means, because everybody else is like, holy fucking shit. This dude just confessed his feelings in front of everybody. And she like takes the cookie and runs away, and is just like, I need some time to think about this, because maybe she knew that he had a crush on her, but she either didn't think that he would publicly like confess, or maybe she had no idea. But I thought that was good. Let's see. He also, even if he is like being confused about this, he was planning on confessing to her, and this is a better confession than whatever he was going to come up with. So in one way, it's good, but obviously, it wasn't what he planned. Yeah, he's a cookie monster indeed. Also, I thought this was very fun. Shiragane's like, and this does feel like pretty real to the high school experience. He's like, oh no, it has to go well, because he didn't know that Ishigami was going to confess. He's like, because if Ishigami, like, if the confession goes well, then everyone's in a good vibe. But if it doesn't go well, I can't ask out anyone. He can't ask out Kaguya, because the mood will be bad, because they've got to be supportive to their friend and also feel sad. So like, he can't like make a move, or it's not going to be right for her to make a move. So he's like, this has to go well. And of course, it probably didn't go super well. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, we got 2 more episodes left in this season. Enough time for both of these issues. I mean, here's the real thing is, I haven't read the manga. I am not up to date on Love is War, the manga. I have not partaken in that particular thing, so I can't tell you how it goes in there. But I have to imagine that we might end on a cliffhanger about this particular relationship. But Ishigami and Tsubase, we could get some kind of closure. But as far as the president and the vice president, I don't think we're going to get any kind of actual closure on this relationship. All right, so we got to put some parts on here, and then also our first sticker, which is sticker number 8. Sticker number 8 is over here, and that'll be our first sticker on F26 and F23. Some of my favorite stickers are these kind of like behind the plastic stickers. I think are always look really good on these kits, both high grades, master grades, and real grades. I think all these kits look fantastic with stickers on them. So looking forward to getting that assembled. And then Aharen-san wa Hakarenai is the other anime that I will be talking about tonight, which is just, again, continues to be a fantastic little show. We are edging ever closer to them being an actual goddamn relationship. The will they? Never really won't they, but they will they at some point, will they recognize, is approaching. There was some shared feelings that we don't know the exact like resolution of, but we also know that they certainly like have a lot of appreciation for one another. One of the big things of this episode is that the girl that usually is like the childhood friend, Oshiro, is normally like around and kind of keeping an eye on them, and multiple times this episode they call out to her and she's not there, and we'll find out at the end what she's been up to. But she saw them like have a moment, and she is not taking it well because she has either friendship or more feelings for Aharen, but is certainly not pleased about how this is going. Okay, so this goes like this, and then this sticker goes here. There's not a good guide to like how this sticker is supposed to go here, really. It's just, if this is like this, then it's this here. Sticker is supposed to go like this then. Oops. I went to remove the sticker and the blade came out, which is that's a good sticker, I guess. But yeah, there's our sticker on there. And that goes in first to here. And then our connecting sticker goes in, or not sticker, connecting piece goes in. That. And then great, these are now connected and they move around at the same time. Anyway, there's a lot of good fucking gags in this episode of Aharen-san. It is winter, and then Aharen in front of this school makes this like weird mix of like it's a snowman, but also an igloo, but also it is the alien creature that is like there's a whole anime like within the anime thing. That is like a reference that has repeated. But yeah, she also, and this is just a weird sentence because it's anime and I can just say the sentence. This particular igloo that she made is also a maid cafe for some reason because she wants to play like maid cafe person, and she like makes breakfast and then also changes back to her school uniform and then eats with him, and it's very weird. And then during the day, the igloo collapsed, and then Raido's like, "All right, fuck yeah, we're gonna fix this shit. I'll help you." And they make it, and for whatever reason, when they make it, it's a different character from the Pokemon Go game ripoff that has been referenced in this series plenty of times. So they're just like, "Yeah, all right, well, we didn't really get it the way we needed to, but we'll figure it out." And of course, collapsed again. Another cute moment where he's like, "Oh, you're cold? I'll warm your hands up." Coleman says, "I got distracted by wasp flying in my window and returned to igloo maid cafes." Yes, like I said, it's a weird sentence. This anime. So most of the ridiculous things that happen in this anime, Aharen-san, happen because Raido has a hyperactive imagination. So it's usually he's like, "Oh, I know what's happening here." He doesn't know what's happening here, and he just makes like a weird, huge like leap in logic. But in this case, this was a real thing and a weird thing. Also, Aharen is like a weird character. So she can just do that. The next day, from all of the shoveling and building of the igloo, Aharen is like stiff all over. And then Raido helps her stretch out. And then like she walks on his back. And all I could think about was it's been a long time since I had somebody walk on my back. And goddamn, does that not feel good? But that is besides the point. Because he kind of dozes off and she almost kisses him. What? But then she doesn't kiss him because they get almost caught about that. So no kissing happens, but almost kissing happens. And then they get some food, and Ishikawa and Sato, I had to look up their names because I never remember. They're the friends that don't really have much of a personality. We find out they've been childhood friends, which is why he sometimes calls her by her first name, where he should be using her last name. And then they're talking about how they're friends. They can't tell if Aharen and Raido are actually in a relationship or not. They don't know if they started dating or not. Anyway, speaking of dating, holy shit, their day off comes up, and she's like, "Come with me to the mall." And Raido's like, "Okay, sure." So they go to the mall. They get some food. They're there specifically because she has a big thing in her family, or New Year's, they all go out and prepare. So she's going to all of the food stalls and trying a bunch of food there to see what she wants to make for her portion of the big family dinner. Hey, John Robert. Miss you too, man. Thanks for popping in the old stream. Nice to hear from you. I should say that Raido is waiting for Aharen. Is like, "Oh, she's late. I bet she's prepping for because he saw a photo of it coming up in this mall. Also happening is a What do they call it? Did I write down the name of it? It's not Beyblades. Oh, it's called Blade Spinners, but it's basically Beyblades. And he's like, oh, I bet she's like a grand champion, and she's like preparing for it and all this nonsense, which is usually just like the thing this character does, which is just like have a bunch of nonsense in his head and over exaggerate things. Anyway, there are a couple kids that have been in the show as minor characters that I find very annoying. Futaba, who's the girl, who is definitely super annoying, and then the boy whose name I can't remember. Anyway, somehow Raido gets challenged to the Beyblade tournament, the Blade Spinners tournament. He's got to enter the tournament, and he's like, okay, and the kid is like, we're going to have this grand thing, and I'm going to challenge you. They both lose in the first round. They both immediately lose. They're terrible. And then Aharen wins the whole thing. She's got like a fucking wrestling belt because she won. She's a grand champion. She's won 5 years competing, or 5 tournaments competing. And she was late because she was up late last night, like getting ready. For once, our goofball boy was actually right when he was like, when his mind was racing with possibilities, he was actually correct on what Aharen was up to. There's a first time for everything. And then Futaba actually won like a ribbon because she's been playing, which is cute. And then they're like, the kids are leaving, and they're like, okay, we're leaving. Go back to your date. Which is very funny because Raido had not thought they were on a date, and Aharen did not think that they were on a date either until the kids are like, yeah, this is obviously a date. Like, well, you're obviously on one. And they're like, oh, wow, okay. And she, of course, gets real blushy and kind of freezes up. And then after credits of the episode, we find out where Oshiro, the girl who's usually hiding, where she's been. She has been doing martial arts training, apparently, and she has a letter of challenge. Now, is that challenge for Raido? I assume it is, because I think anybody else it would be weird in the story if she was challenging somebody else to a duel. So I have to imagine that she's challenging Raido to a duel. Because, again, it would be very weird if it was somebody else. Okay, so we got that on there. And we G2 and G22. Yes, while you were going to parties, I studied Blade. Basically, it is the thing of like, at first she just thought Raido was scary because it's only mentioned in the first episode. It is just how we get to the point where their friends is. Raido, up until now, their freshman year of high school, growing up, like, he didn't have a lot of friends and he wasn't social because he's got a mean mug. He's got resting bastard face. He just, like, looks like he's a tough guy because he's a big dude that looks like hard. But he's not. He's a softie. So he was like, I'm going to make friends. And I'm going to start by making friends with the person that sits next to me, whoever that is. And it turned out to be Aharen, who has trouble understanding boundaries and communicating with people. So they struck up a friendship, and it's going great. And now maybe it's going to be a relationship. We don't fucking know. It probably is. But yeah, Oshiro at first was afraid for Aharen, and now is definitely fucking jealous of what's going on here and hurt. So I guess we're gonna see the two of them compete in a challenge or fight, maybe? I don't know. But that's weird. Again, only a couple more episodes left of that show. Really do love it. Aharen-san. It's so strange that this season, my favorite shows are all romantic comedies. Like, obviously, Spy Family has a lot other stuff going on, but it also is a romantic show, and it is silly in many ways. So, it still is an action series that has humor and romance going on it. But there's that. Kaguya-sama Love is War, as I said in Aharen-san. I talked about that. Shikimori's Not a Cutie. I'm watching that and really loving it. Yeah, and then a couple isekai, a couple one action series, and then the girls doing things, the cute girls doing things is RPG Real Estate, which also has a lot of heart and some drama going on in it, and also characters who are definitely in love with each other, and so it's definitely a queer show, but also really feels like a show that is just trying to bait that and does not feel like it is legitimately going to do anything with these characters as far as being in a relationship with one another, which is fucking frustrating. But that definitely feels like that's the case. My co-hosts were talking up Spy Family on the podcast recorded this week. Oh, nice. Yeah. Spy Family is the show that not everybody, like people who kind of like follow this stuff knew that it was going to be big, but didn't realize, like, I don't think anybody predicted how big it was going to be. Like, it's all right. These don't want to fit on. And why is that? I don't think people like realized how big it was going to be. Like how, like, especially with like fandom, like I've seen fan art of that as a manga, but once it like came out as an actual, like once the anime came out and people were like, wait, what's up with this? Like, it's just, it feels like it's taken on a life of its own. Okay, so, all right, I understand. I was like, why won't these pieces go on? It's because I missed a piece. I missed G9. I think if I have G9 on here, then this is going to fit better, because I don't have G9 on there, and I honestly think that's what's wrong, is there's nothing for this to clip onto. So that's what I'm doing. I was like, what am I doing wrong here? It's that. Yeah, that thing blew up. Yes, it definitely did. Yeah, and it, in some ways, I think they were ready for it. It is funny because, like, if you had asked me a few months ago, like if you'd asked me in, February or March, what's going to be the big anime this season, I would have said, well, because the first season did such big numbers, I have to assume that the second season of Rising of the Shield Hero is going to be the show of the season. That'll be the big spring anime, because the second season, because the first season, like, I don't want to say an unexpected hit, but it did really well for an isekai. So I imagine the second season will be even more popular because word has spread and people who weren't watching it when it first came out will get caught up. I don't hear anyone in my circles talking about that second season. Now, one thing I didn't know going into the season was that apparently they were just going to shit the bed, because not only is the manga, the adaptation they're doing of the manga isn't necessarily a material that people love. Also, they had like jumped ahead to end the anime, the first season, on like a good note. So they're like jumping around on time. And also, somebody that I watch who's like supposed to be like, he tries to do cut content. He's a YouTuber I like who does like cut content of things. He's like, I can't keep covering this because I can't tell what's cut and what like they keep cutting things I feel like they're going to go back to, so I don't want to like spoil it. He's like, I just don't know where they are in this series. So it feels like a mess. Because yeah, I definitely would have guessed that would have been the show that people had talked about, but it certainly isn't. Like I know, I have a friend who is still really into Shield Hero, but I knew it would be something I wasn't going to watch because I really didn't love the first season. It's definitely something I'm going to watch, like, once things wrap up. It'll be like my in-between anime show, like in between seasons, but it's not a thing that I've been watching weekly. There's a show, of course I'll talk about this at the end of this month when I do my season wrap up and the next season preview. I'll of course talk about all the stuff that I'm excited about for next season. But Beast Tamer got announced, and I think it's got a really long name, but I guess they're just calling it Beast Tamer, which I think is not a bad idea because some people react very poorly to light novel titles. But it's like the Beast Tamer was kicked out of the hero's party and then became the whatever. I'm gonna look up the actual name of it. Okay, yeah. Let me find the actual name of this. It's a manga I still read, so I'm looking forward to. But let's see if it'll load the name of it. It's Yusha Hero, but I want to look up the English name of it. Let's see. Come on, load for me so I can tell people what this is. But anyway, Beast Hero is like it is that thing of like, or is it Beast Tamer was fired? No, Beast Tamer is a different one. Beast Tamer was fired from his childhood S-rank party. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. Yes, that is. Oh wait, no, that's a different one. Sorry, I'm getting everyone confused. There's two anime that are both called Beast Tamer. One is Beast Tamer was fired from his childhood friend's S-rank party. That one I think is very fun. This one's different. This is another tamer. The thing they're calling Beast Tamer is the premise is that this dude got kicked out of the party, but his response is, all right, well, I'm just gonna go do my own thing and just be an adventurer on my own. He meets a cat girl from the Beast family, and she's just like, hey, why don't you form a contract with me? And he's like, but you're not like a monster. He's like, no, but I'm a beast. It'll work. And you're like, what? And it does. And he's very confused about that. And then he meets like a dragon girl, and he's basically our dude, because he has made contracts with these girls who are, demi-humans. They share their powers, and he becomes even stronger. And if you're like, Pat, does he keep meeting more and more girls? The answer is yes. So if you're thinking, well, between the two Beast Tamer ones, the one where he meets a bunch of pretty girls, and the one where a dude has a cool wolf friend, and then, makes friends with other things, and also has like a weird like Chow garden with other monsters that he's made friends with. Which one will get the anime adaptation? It's the one with all the pretty girls. Although the other one, the other Beast Tamer, the one that isn't getting an adaptation yet, does have one of my favorite things where he has this like Chow garden, like this weird thing inside that he can go to. It's basically like the world inside a Pokeball. I call it Chow Garden because I think that's just easier to describe it. But anyway, he's got this magical realm that he can go to and hang out with all of the beasts that he's tamed. He ended up making friends with a bunch of these like ants, that anthropomorphized like ants, and they're very helpful. And there is a recurring gag when anytime they do something good and they get rewarded, two of them jump and high five. So it's just these cute little ants in the background. Like everyone's just like, yeah, we did it. Hell yeah, we got it done. And these two girls are just like, two ant girls just jump and give a big high five. And it's happened like 5 or 6 times. And I love it every time. I'm always like, waiting for the next time. I'm like, oh, things are going well. I might get that high five in. And then I do. And it's just like a very silly thing to be excited about. That one's really fun because he's like, in that world, he's a beast tamer, but monsters are only in dungeons. So anytime you tame a monster, it's only temporary because monsters can't leave the dungeons they're in. So he's just like, shit. Well, I can't do anything about that until he powers up and levels up, and then he has that garden. So now monsters can go out of that garden, and then when he leaves, they can pop back out. There's also a gargoyle that does chores. It's not bad. That gargoyle got kicked out of the demon army because he's like, he can't fight, but he was trying to be helpful, and they kicked him out. And now he hangs out in that house and gets to be friends there. There's a cool bird, all kinds of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff. These things don't want to stay in here. Maybe they will eventually. But right now, these parts of the leg here don't seem to want to stay where I need them to, which I would describe as frustrating. Is there any trick to this? No. They should just work. They don't. Well, we'll find out if there is a trick that I don't understand about these in a minute. I'm going to keep working on this kit here. Trying to get like a leg done. Before we wrap up tonight, is there anything y'all are playing? Anything y'all are watching? Chat has been a little quiet this evening, which is fine. That happens, and I'm totally okay with that. But if there's anything that you're like, oh, Pat, I've been playing this, or I checked out the demo for this thing because I was watching this, and you got to check this out. Yeah, let me know. Oh, and then I mentioned this earlier about UnderGating. We're gonna zoom in really far. You can see here on this piece, there they are. There's these little nubbins that are there that are just like in the way right here. So these nubbins have to come off. So I have to clip these little nubbins off here. There you go. You can see there. I got to clip these off because they're UnderGate. They're just extra pieces there that need to come off. And I have to constantly be aware of that. And that is a thing that I have to do constantly, is constantly look for that and have my eyes be on the lookout for those little pieces. Because if I don't catch them before I have to put the piece on, then it doesn't like actually like clip on properly. And then I got to like take the piece off and clean it up. And that's annoying. Lord Crescent, can't wait for Power Wash Simulator hit 1.0. Yeah, that's coming in July. They love to release those things on a Thursday, huh? They love their updates on a Thursday, which is like, I'm sure for them really good, but for me is frustrating because then I have to wait till the following Wednesday to stream it. I guess I could do a Friday stream of it, but I'm not going to do that because just not going to. Oh, okay. So now the piece I need to clip these on is hopefully when I put this on here, we'll keep these from falling off. So that's good. Apart from watching random VTuber clips and art tutorials, I've mostly been focused on getting physical streaming setup adjusted. Nice. Hell yeah. And then Dirty says, I've been sitting here rebuilding my factory again after completing my coal power plant site and setting up my truck auto route so the coal gets delivered to my main factory. Hell yeah, Dirty. Set up all that stuff. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm not just nodding along respectfully. I know a little bit about the factory stuff you're working on there, the cause and effect and setting everything up. I have not played the game, but I am at least somewhat aware of it. Lasper says, not quite what you're thinking, but I've been watching LGR's tweets about his new house with jealousy. Wish I could get a fresh start on a new place with a lot more space. Yeah, I mean, you're following along. I'm sure that Clint, Lazy Game Reviews, will do at some point. We'll do a video, like not a house tour, but maybe like a room tour. I'm sure he will do something like that. But yeah, I think that's totally fine and reasonable to be following along, especially with Envy. Yeah, I haven't had like the house thing. I've had I moved into a new apartment and now I get to figure out how this room should work based on like the layout of the room and all that. I've certainly had that. I am genuinely thinking about getting a smaller table to do this so that a smaller table that is like sturdier and I don't have all the extra table there, because I think that would definitely cut down on the issues that I'm having here with table shake. If it was a smaller table, I think that would genuinely help me out. All right, we are mostly done with this leg. We have a little bit left to do. It's so weird to start a leg, but you can see, as far as a real grade goes, like the amount, obviously these are different kits, but the amount of different components between a real grade and a Entry Grade, there's just like so many more moving parts here. Again, obviously different kit, different eras of kits, but like still, Real Grade's got a whole lot of fucking detail. This will be quite a while they'll be working on this kit. But what's going to happen now is I'm going to end the stream. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream, is we go on a raid. We're going to go find somebody out there in the community we want to go hang out with. I hope you come back on Monday for my next stream, where I'll be continuing to work on this kit. I'm going to tweak my lighting a little bit more, try to get that so that the space is a little brighter. You can see a little bit better there. So I will do that. And, of course, we're just going to hang out. And it'll be Manga Monday, so I will talk about some manga that I am reading, because that is a thing that happens on Mondays. I will be in Jeff Gersman's chat tomorrow, moderating. So you want to hang out with Jeff as he watches the Capcom thing and the Bethesda Microsoft thing. The Microsoft Bethesda, let's be real. Arthur Geese is playing Metal Hellsinger. I assume that's a demo, unless it's out, and I wasn't paying attention to when that was coming out. But yeah, Arthur's playing Metal Hellsinger, which looked fucking great on the Summer Games thing. So we're going to go raid Arthur. So feel free to come along on this raid. Thanks everybody for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Again, come back on Monday for Manga Monday and for working on that kit and talking about what I see tomorrow at the other events. So feel free to come along on this one, because again, Metal Hellsinger just looks so fucking cool, and Arthur's a great dude. So let's go do that. And I hope to see you all on Monday, or at least some of y'all. And if not, thank you for being here now. And I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.